Hello there, beautiful internet and you amazing creatures of the beyond. Well, today I have something special for you in mind. I'm going to teach you math. I know we all hate math, but math can become really beautiful uh, the moment you see an application for it. So, how do we see in perspective? Because some people find it extremely difficult to understand 3D perspective in two-dimensional view, like on a screen. And it's easy when we apply shades and try to render it to look with highlights and shadows to look as three-dimensional as possible. But when we don't have that and we just have simple lines, simple geometry, how do we understand the three-dimensional geometry of that, the perspective? So we're going to start with a Cartesian system. Basically, a Cartesian system is just a cross-axis. Oh my god, this looks horrible. Let's make it a little bit. Yeah, something like this. So you have two axes. This is gonna be x, and this is gonna be y. And this is gonna be minus y, and this is gonna be minus x. And here we're gonna have the center, 0 or O. So basically we can divide this in, let's say, segments, equal segments, and each segment is gonna represent one unit. And if we want to find a coordinate on x and y, so for example, let's say it's gonna be right over here. This is gonna be x, y. So if it's gonna be on this segment and on this segment, let's say this is a 4 and this is a 3. So x is going to be 4 in this case and y is going to be 3. Simple, easy, and beautiful and clean and crisp. So basically we can call this point P. Point P. So we know that the center, from the center to P, it represents in the coordinates x and y. We can also give other um, connotations here, but whatever, I'm gonna just keep it simple. Now, this is how Inkscape handles everything. Like every time we draw a node, a vertex, like this, or a vector, and then we put another vector over here, it calculates the distance from here to here between the vectors. So basically, if I would put it, well, maybe let's put it in our, let's say this is gonna be here and this is gonna be over here. Maybe I need to add a bit of thickness to that stroke. So if we look at it like this, in this case it's gonna be, oops, my mistake. It's gonna be, this point is gonna be P1, which is gonna be probably on X it's gonna be 3, and on Y it's gonna be 4. I'm just eyeballing it. And this is gonna be P2. And in this case, let's say X is gonna be a 3, sorry, a minus 3, because it's minus here. And Y is gonna be minus 5. I'm just approximating, probably -6, whatever. So now the distance between this, we can roughly understand where it is positioned on the Cartesian system. Now, Inkscape does this thing for everything, including for the three-dimensional. And I'll show you in a moment. Why? Let me just clear the area here. Hop, 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 hop. So what happens in the Cartesian system, which is, well, let's go into the orthogonal system, because we're going to make a third line, which is going to be z. Let me try to put it through the center like that. So this is going to be a z, and this is going to be minus z. Now, how can we better understand why this z comes in front here? So basically, we have to think of it. If you look at your room, look at the corner of your room. So basically, if the corner of your room is over here in O, you have the left wall that looks something like this. Then you have the floor that looks something like this. And you have the front wall that looks something like this. So basically, this is gonna be one face, this is gonna be a second face, and this is gonna be the bottom face. So it creates this, well, everything is 90% here when they're perpendicular to each other. So basically, if we take X, Y, and Z, and I know, this is how Inkscape handles it, because it starts from the two-dimensional Cartesian system with X and Y, and then it moves to Z this way. The correct, well, the standard is that instead, well, what is used in modern systems is Z goes up, Y goes here, and X goes here. But since Inkscape only works in 2 dimensions, it's gonna go like this. So Y is here, X is here, and then it swaps X with Y and puts a Z here. And it makes sense because you're starting from 2D and moving into 3D, and technically everything handled in Inkscape is 2D. There is no actual 3D. 3D is the illusion, but we'll get to that in a moment. So as I said, this is one surface, this is a second surface, and this is the floor surface, what we did here. So let me remove all of this. So basically, now, if we want to represent a point in space, because now we're creating a three-dimensional space, now if I create point P right over here, now point P is not going to be on Y and X, it's going to be on all three surfaces. Well, let's say that this point is floating. So in order for this point to find out the position of this point, we kind of have to create a shadow of it. So basically, if let's say we have three light sources that go opposite to these surfaces. So if we're gonna have a light source over here on the top, the shadow is gonna go somewhere here. And this is gonna translate to X and Z. This is a positive because we are drawing in the positive surface, in the positive corner. If we would draw on this other side, it will be Y will be positive, X and Z will be negative. If we're drawing it down here, all of them, well, depends how far, because it can be even represented on the Y. So technically, it would be a little bit back if it's more in front. It's a bit tricky to get, but you will. So basically, we're transforming this three-dimensional point into two-dimensional points right now. So it's gonna have this three-dimensional point P. It's gonna have three two-dimensional points on each surface. So this is gonna be, let's call it Y. Then we're gonna have another, if we're gonna have a light source over here, the shadow is gonna fall over here. So this is gonna be represented over here. Let's call it J, whatever. So Y is on the X and Z axis. P is on the X, Y, and Z. J is on the Y and Z axis. And if we're gonna have another light shining from this part, this is gonna go somewhere here. And we're creating a kind of a box. So this is gonna be K, this point over here, which is on the X and Y axis. So if you break it in small parts, you can understand that you can translate, you can start from these dimensional points. If you have two, you can get the third easily. Because if you have this one and this one, you can meet them over here in the middle, and then you can get the Y over here because you represent the shadow from this point. So you can start with the shadows or directly with the point. It's up to you. So basically, oops, OP is gonna be represented by X, Y, and Z in correlation to Y, YJ, and K. So this might look a bit confusing at first, but it will make sense in a moment. So the whole point of this monstrosity, because I know it's not very well drawn out, but I'm trying to show you the principles. Using these principles, I'm going to use this box, the 3D box tool, and it's gonna look really weird right now because I have to, and it's important that you only use the 3D box tool and not this, not the node tool. So right now, well, let me make it a bit wider. We could kind of get this representation. Whoa, 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 whoa. Chill, 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 Betsy. Only if we make it. I hate when this happens. So let me try to get an angle here. Okay. There we go. Although Y is inverted, unfortunately, so I'll have to pull this one. Yeah, this one. So this is the correct. So we're basically kind of doing the same thing here. My angles are not quite as aggravated as this, so maybe let's try a 270. No, that's too much. Let's try let's try 360. No, that's too much as well. 320. Okay, that kind of goes there. So, well, I'm doing isometric right now. it's not really perspective what I'm doing, because all of them are going towards the infinite. So it says direction between finite and infinite. Infinite? Infinite? Oh my god. Okay. So it means this parallelism. So basically everything goes into the infinite perspective. So now we have this quite perfect box. So we can see that the front is over here, this part. Oops. So this surface is represented by this surface. Let me get the pen to where. So this surface over here is this surface. This surface on the top is this surface, and this surface over here on the right is this surface. So basically, we cannot see O right now because our point is right over here, right? And we would have to make the box a little transparent. So I'm gonna give the opacity. Actually, it's not gonna show the transparency. I have to maybe lower this one. Yeah, it's the first three or the last three. Can't even remember. Damn it. Just a second. So this is second, first. Okay, so these three. I'm gonna put it on 80% all of them. So you can see the back now. Basically, it creates all the surfaces. So we have 6 surfaces, 3 on top. So this one, and this one, which is this one, and this one, and 3 behind. But I cannot access them because they're behind. But basically, O is in this corner. So we're recreating this thing from here to here. Basically, we can say the axis. This is the x. This is, sorry, that's the y. That's the x. And this is the z-axis. So, and this is O here. Quite easy now that we understand how perspective works. Of course, this starts to morph a lot the moment we start to play with the angles here. So if we remove the infinite, oops, I didn't. Well, yeah, of course, we have to shift a few things here. Just a moment. I need to recover the angles. So now we can have a correct perspective view. This is the top view. If we want to make the middle view, we have to make this angle. If we want to see from the top, we have to lower it under this angle. And if we want to see from the bottom, we have to raise it over this angle. So basically, oops. Made another one. Think of the distance from here. Oh, well, let's think that this is the horizontal line, the horizon. If this is gonna be the sky, and this is gonna be the ground, and you're somewhere here, your perspective is gonna look something in this cone, you know? And if we want to get the right perspective, we have to go to this cube and put it on the ground. So this is gonna be meeting right at the edge of the horizon. And depending how far these points are, we can make the thing look further away or closer. Depends on many things. The wider they are, in the bigger the distance between these, the more it seems like it's a closer object. The closer they are, the distance between this, the object seems further away from us. And of course, we can make it like a tall object. So in this case, we only see this surface. We would have to be a little bit further away to see the entire thing. So right now, this object is taller than us. If I'm gonna make it like this is gonna look like a box. So this box is smaller than us, obviously. And depends how close you want to make it to us. Basically, this is how kind of cameras work. Oh, I have snap enabled, sorry. So this is how we can make many shapes. Now, an important thing, based on how you set these angles, if I'm gonna make another object over here, if I'm gonna move this angle, it's gonna affect this as well. See? Unfortunately, this is how Inkscape works. At least I didn't find a way to separate them. Well, there is a way. You have to remove them from the group, because basically this is a group. So the moment I take them out of the group, they're not affected by the box tool, the 3D box tool, because these are just surfaces, but they're calculated based on this group. This group has some properties that relate to this tool. The moment they're outside, they cannot be affected. So we can do many things with this. We can try to create an outline of a perspective if we want to make very three-dimensional objects at different scales and sizes. There are many applications to this. Or we can just use the surfaces themselves and make buildings or whatever we want, and get like a very well defined perspective, and all using the Cartesian system. If you want to be more accurate than this, we can go into the document properties, Control Shift D, and we can go to grids. And by default, you have the rectangular grid. If you're gonna give this one, well, we have the standard grid, right? So I'm gonna remove it. And I'm gonna add the axiometric grid. Axiometric means that it adds the z-axis. So I'm gonna do this. You see, it's looking like this triangles instead of squares. So basically now, if I'm gonna take, let's say, the Bezier tool, sorry, the pen tool, not Bezier. And if I'm gonna enable the clipping, the snapping, sorry, I can create, like, this is my z-axis right now. Bam. I can go on the y-axis. Bam. I'm gonna make this, and then I can make a z-axis. Bam. Easy peasy. Obviously, we have to do two separate segments because this is not VPaint to make all points intersect into the middle here, unfortunately. Would be cool to have that. So as you can see, you can be very accurate when you're creating your designs. I'm not sure, did I make it parallel? Yeah, I think it's Okay. And from here we can just draw another box. Well, obviously we have to play with the angles. One goes here. Ah, yeah, I forgot. Oh, damn it. It's gonna affect everything. Let me remove everything. So that one goes there. This one goes here. But this is due to the fact that we have to kind of pull these edges. It's a bit tedious, but once we get them in position, it's gonna be okay. Oh, I inverted it. Well, damn, yeah, it's confusing as hell. I think it should be. Oh, come on, cooperate with me. I don't freaking know. Is it like this? Ah, you're killing me. I am just trying. Okay, maybe it's like this. Oh my god, it's making such weird things. Come on. What do I need to do to put you on the other side? Yeah, this is the pain. But we'll get it somehow. Okay, so it's inverted. This side has to be on this side. There we go. We're starting to make progress here. Okay, I think I inverted this as well. There we go. So ah, you're not cooperating. At this point, I don't even know what I'm doing. If it's right or wrong. It seems wrong. It really seems wrong. And I don't know what I inverted. Oh, this one has to be. No? I think it's like this. I'm not sure anymore. Maybe it's like this. I don't know. No, it's not. It's getting close. I don't know what I inverted. I know I inverted something, but what did I invert? You're annoying as hell. I don't know how to invert you back. So basically, like, they shouldn't interact. This corner should be in the back. So how the hell do I bring the back corner to the front? Like this? You are confusing the hell out of me. Well, we're definitely making something here. I just can't understand how I could have messed it up so bad. But oops, but we are getting something. So let's see. Let's say this is the floor. Obviously, this would have to be further away. And the more we raise this, oh, something like this. So if this is gonna be X, we want to move this to the Y, to the O, sorry. So O should be somewhere here. Somewhere. So something like that. Obviously, the z-axis has to be parallel to this. So the only way to do that is if we create infinity to create another. You know what I mean. I'm tempted to try to rotate this to get the correct dimensions, but unfortunately I cannot because this is two-dimensional. It's not a three-dimensional. Yeah, but basically there's many applications to be done with this. I'm getting close. I don't know why, but somehow I messed it up so bad that I don't understand how I can correct the corners. So this corner is in the correct position. It's on the top, but this one should be here. So it should be here. Ah, I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's inverted again. And it's weird that you can only work with this surface to go up and down, and this one goes back and front. Ah, so close. What the hell am I missing? Well, let's just say this is the correct one. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Something like that. Usually the easiest way to work with this is to just create X and Y fixed and then play with this surface. Obviously you have to play a little bit with the angles. I go a little bit higher. Yeah, that should look okay. Now it's working fine for some reason. Maybe a little higher. This one has to be kind of straightened up. So usually this is the standard to create as, well, not isometric. That perspective that looks as genuine as possible. So yeah, hopefully you have learned something interesting here. Uh, Maybe I'll lower this here and get down here on the ground. And that looks like a boxy to me. Well, a far away boxy, maybe this one has to be a little lower. Anyway, you get what I mean, I hope. So many applications that can be done with these boxes. It's a bit tedious. Sometimes they even confuse the hell out of me when the angles are screwed up. And there is no way to reset it. So basically, I just play with angles here. Usually put 270 here, 270 here, and 300 here, or 360 here. Sometimes it works as well. Let's try it. Yeah. And if we go with this one, 300, usually kind of that is the reset point to kind of get something more fixed. But anyway, you have plenty of things to play around with. And try to understand perspective as angles. Or you can think of it like the z-axis, like if you're walking on a road and in front of you is this wall, x and y, and from around this plane there comes a car, you will see first the front of the car, z, and the back of the car is gonna be behind the plane, the wall. So you won't see the entire car. So that's the easiest way I can explain 3 dimensions. Yeah. I hope it wasn't that confusing and I tried to be as clear as possible. And whenever you try to make something look 3 dimensional, keep this perspective in mind. It will become second nature. You don't have to draw this in your mind or on the paper or anything. But as long as you know there is one angle coming to one perspective coming towards you and one perspective that is static in front of you, then it's gonna become easier to play with the angle and perspective and see all of these tiny little details. Obviously, this angle is not perfect yet. It would have to be much, much wider to look a little bit parallel. But anyway, for demonstration purposes and for my torture, it is enough. Okay, guys, you stay awesome. I'll catch you in the next episode, and bye, 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 bye.